Real quick, today is going to be part one of a two-part series. Normally, when I shoot these videos, I'm able to edit everything that I want to say down into the 3-minute time limit. I've tried and failed numerous times to do that. It still came out to well over 4 minutes. So for that reason, I'm just going to cut it into two and drop 2 videos on 2 days. Today, we're going to be talking about the high-level overview of how I would program for a professional jiu-jitsu athlete. If you enjoy this video, make sure that you follow the page so that when part 2 drops, it will appear in your feed tomorrow when I'm going to be talking about the specifics of the physical training. Thanks. So I've had a few discussions with some jiu-jitsu coaches and athletes about how I might approach organizing the weekly training schedule of a full-time professional jiu-jitsu athlete. I thought it was a fun intellectual exercise, so I thought I would share it with you in this video today. The first thing I try to account for when training any athlete is the distribution of the overall training load or stress. One thing we know from research that increases the risk of unnecessary injury is what's called monotony. That's when all of your training days look the same in terms of how difficult they are. And that becomes more and more true the higher the overall volume and intensity becomes. So for that reason, we want to see alternating easier and harder days throughout the week. And normally I like to start the week with an easy day because people tend to do dumb shit on the weekends. They normally need a day to get up to speed and feel good. And an easy day of training on day one can actually have a potentiating effect on day 2 and improve subsequent performance. Alternating between high and low for the rest of the week gives us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as our low days, and Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday as our high training days. We want Tuesday and Saturday to be our hardest days of the week because we're fresher and we have a day off respectively after that Saturday session. So we want Thursday to be a little bit easier to facilitate that. Low days, they're just low. We don't really need to think about that. Let's assume that we're dealing with a healthy young pro. So we're going to be training twice a day, and we want to make sure that the training activities we're doing on each day reflect the level of stress that we've just assigned to each day of the week. So for the high days, that's probably going to be hard sparring centered around wrestling, scrambling, submission escapes, and competition rounds for the bulk of what we're doing. We should expect to be tired at the end of a hard day, but not so tired that we're still beat up by the time the next hard day arrives. For the low days, we want to focus on things like reviewing film, either from previous sessions or competitions, teaching the concepts and techniques that are going to be executed on the high days, and doing more lower level technical games and activities. These days should still feel like work, but when we finish them, we should still feel good, nor should we have negatively impacted recovery or preparation for the next high day, which comes the day after. After that, we're going to schedule our physical training. So that right there was part one of how I would personally schedule the weekly training of a professional jiu-jitsu athlete, the kind of high-level stuff. Come back tomorrow and I'll talk about the specifics of the physical programming. Thanks.